As you all know, sometime last week around the 29th of September, we learned about this Snapchat shooting that was all over the web. It became a web sensation, and for some unknown reason, people thought that the Houston Police Department was going to learn about these two geniuses here that we have in front of us that decided to go around shooting at dwellings, and for some reason people thought we weren't going to take it seriously and do something about it. Well, I'm proud to say today that, as this community now knows, we did take it seriously, we did investigate it, and today we're going to talk a little bit about that investigation and talk about our partners from the Travis County, from Harris County Sheriff's Department, that warrant enforcement team that helped us capture one of the suspects. But Lieutenant Siska obviously assigned two of his best to work on this, and homicide got involved in well. Detective Hobson was made the lead investigator, with the West Side TAC officer Mason leading on the ground effort. So there was actually a team effort between headquarters, homicide division, and West Side TAC, and I've got the captain from homicide here, the captain from TAC, the lieutenant from West Side. They're all here, obviously our assistant chiefs and the assistant chief, because it really was a team effort to get these two people in the custody. In essence, there are 3 snaps uploaded to the server, and the suspects obviously intended to delete them before law enforcement got to them, but unfortunately for them, those snaps were actually put up to Reddit, and as a result of it being on Reddit, the police department was able to learn about it and start an investigation. Thanks to some really good police work on behalf of these two individuals here to my left, we were able to identify a suspect related to the Snapchat photo, and that was of the actual female. He actually saw a Snapchat or some other social media where he recognized the apartment complex, being a good patrol officer, and went to that complex and started his investigation. Officer Mason was able to confirm that the female lived at the residence, and from there was able to positively identify her through social media and obviously other law enforcement techniques that we won't talk about specifically. He came up with the name Sierra Shumway initially, S-H-U-M-W-A-Y. That was later actually determined to be the real suspect's name was Sierra Tarbutton, T-A-R-B-U-T-T-O-N. Officer Mason and Detective Hobson were then able to identify the male suspect as Money Mike, which is his street moniker, from a Facebook page and Reddit tip. Money Mike is a local Houston rapper from this area. Detective Hobson was able to find Mike Anthony, and through further social media and law enforcement techniques was able to identify the male suspect as Michael Anthony Cuellar, C-U-E-L-L-A-R. That's Michael Anthony Cuellar. On Thursday, the 28th of September, Officer Mason and Detective Hobson were able to find evidence in the shooting with shell casings and damages at a local business. So people need to understand that they weren't just simply shooting into the air. They were actually shooting at actual property and actually recklessly endangering members of our community. So they were able to actually find the casings at a local business. Officer Mason and Detective Hobson were able to find complainants in the deadly conduct and criminal mischief portions of this case. On Friday, the 29th of September, Detective Hobson filed 4 charges after Intake Chief ADA L. Johnson accepted deadly conduct, which is obviously a felony, and criminal mischief, and I think 2 counts on both of those. Detective Castellani assisted in the walking through the warrants, and Detective Hobson's and Castellani then traveled and met with the West Side TAC unit to review the case and execute an arrest warrant. Sergeant Miller led the West Side TAC unit with Officer Mason in constant contact throughout this entire case, and today we asked our partners over at the Harris County Sheriff's Office to come over, because one of the things that we've really been working on as a region is to really have a regional approach to policing. We believe that we are obviously brother and sister agencies, and we need to work together to keep Harris County, the city of Houston, and our entire region safe. And so today, I'm happy to say that on Monday, the 2nd of October, the Harris County Sheriff's Warrant Team, led by Sergeant Miller, arrested Tarbutton without incident at her mother's residence located on Fern Ridge in Houston. And on Tuesday, the 3rd of October, Cuellar turned himself into the Harris County Sheriff's Office custody at the jail and at approximately 0900 hours. The reason we're having this press conference is twofold. One and foremost is to let people in this community know that we take dangerous conduct, reckless conduct, deadly conduct seriously. And when you're foolish enough to put it on social media, I assure you that our police department and the sheriff's department and all of our public safety partners are constantly monitoring social media, looking for these fools that A, think it's funny to engage in this kind of conduct, and B, are dumb enough to actually put it on social media where law enforcement and the world to see. The suspects have been actually booked and charged. The male suspect has a $200,000 bond, and the female suspect, based on her history, which included retaliation threats against the children of one of our DWI officers back in 2015, is being held on no bail, with no bail, because of her conduct. Their conduct was not funny. Their conduct was not harmless. Their conduct was absolutely dangerous. It was deadly conduct. And I'm glad that the DA's office saw what we saw, which is two suspects that were creating a clear and present danger to our community and belong behind bars. And so with that, I want to congratulate our team from the West Side and from Homicide, and obviously our HCSO partners for this work. But we really don't want to have a body of evidence on cyber of these two fools going around engaging in this kind of conduct without having a secondary follow-up body of media coverage showing that they got what they so richly deserve, which is be identified, investigated, arrested, charged, booked, and hopefully in the near future convicted of 2 counts each of felony conduct. So with that, we'll open up the questions, and we'll let the detectives, if you'd like to talk to them.
Was the damage limited to one business or residential homes? How far did
I can just tell you that one business alone had a sign with $30,000 worth of damage. That's just one business alone, and we'll let them talk about. Do you guys want to talk about the specifics on that?
What business was it?
Say who you are. Come on up.
Detective Hobson with Homicide Major Assaults Unit. Basically, we have it listed in the report. It's a business. It's a business down 14600 South Highway 6, and I don't know if they want the business name to be out.
Can you explain how I guess a miscommunication occurred? Because when we called on Wednesday the 20th, there was not an investigation, there was no complainant, and how did it come to the attention of the West Side Tactical Unit? How and when did that happen?
Well, let me just tell you, I don't know the specific chronology. I can tell you that when I saw this on, you all know I'm a social media fiend. I'm always on social media. When I saw it on social media, I immediately sent it to our chiefs, and I can just say that once I sent it to them, they were already on it. So we're not really interested. I'm not worried about, when it started, other than the people need to know that when it comes to our attention, when it comes to my attention, we're not going to look the other way. And so I don't know the actual chronology. I can just tell you that when I saw it online, I immediately reached out to our chiefs and all of the chiefs, and we were already on it.
But give the public some direction, because something like this may not be a 911 call, but who do they call when you see something on social media that didn't happen outside your house or where you are, but that needs looking into? Because I think the person that posted it to Reddit had some trouble just finding the right person to report to.
You know what? Call the Houston Police Department. We're on. You can call a 311 and be transferred to a non-emergency line. But if you're going to err, call 911 if you're not sure. We want to know about this kind of conduct. We want to know about it in a timely manner. We will never be upset at somebody because maybe they called 911 when they could have just simply called 311 and be transferred, or call your local station. And lastly, if you see conduct like this online, especially conduct that we attribute to the city of Houston happening in our jurisdiction, and you try to report it to any police department, especially our police department, and we're not responding and taking a report, call my office and let us know, because I promise you we're not going to not act.
Chief, are you worried at all that people are looking for quick fame, that this might catch on as a trend, that suddenly somebody's looking for Facebook likes and this continues?
Yeah, these people are fools. They don't realize that the only fame they're going to get is when they get convicted of 2 felony counts and end up in state prison. And so people think they're funny, they think they're cute, but they don't understand, especially when you're discharging a firearm in a populated area, kind of like New Year's Eve and 4th of July, we talk about when bullets come up, or when you fire that bullet, you don't know where it's going to land. You know, and in this case, it didn't land harmlessly. We know it did significant damage to one business, at least $30,000. And we can fix that, but you can't get a limb or a life back that's lost because of some fool acting in recklessly like this.
Were you able to establish a motive? Is that, do we know why?
We don't need to have a motive for this type of crime. I'm not sure. Only they know. I think they're trying to be, again, they're just being, they'd be real blunt idiots.
Do you know any of the details? You were talking about her, she's being held without bond because of a 2015 incident with a DWI officer?
Yeah, I just know a very high level that she was arrested, and noticed the pictures of the picture of one of our officers that have, you know, employees. We're human beings. We love our families, we love our job, we love our community, and the employee just happened to have a picture of the two of her his or her two children, and I think it was two girls, if my memory serves me right. And the suspect made a threat that she was involved with the cartel, and that they're going to be two tombstones with those girls' names on them, short because of the arrest.
And it was the officer that arrested her?
I believe so, yeah.
DWI?
Was there any discrepancy in identifying her and arresting her? Did she try to say that she was someone else or anything like that?
That's part of the ongoing investigation. I can just tell you that we're 100% sure we have the right suspects. We have the right suspects in custody. We have the right suspects charged, and hopefully in the short order we'll have the right suspects convicted.
What's challenging in dealing with a situation with specifically social media as the main piece of evidence?
You know what? I think that they say a picture tells 1,000 words. Well, you can imagine what a video does. And these people thought they were funny, and so if I'm a prosecutor, it's pretty simple. You put on the video, you let the jury see it, and then you have these officers come in and tell their story and how they identified the suspect and what the results were and the damage inflicted by the suspect's actions.
Chief, are you ever surprised at what people are now putting on social media? Because there are different levels of bad behavior, from people committing thefts now to this deadly conduct.
It is, social media. We've talked about it before, and I'll say it again. It is something that it's a curse, in one sense, and it's actually a blessing in another. It's a curse in that I really believe that social media has led to the radicalization of a lot of people. I mean, it's just very mean-spirited. People feel like they can do or say anything on social media, and we see with you add mental illness and some of the other things that go on. It really, there's a lot of misinformation. We've got our friends from the Ukraine here. We're talking about the Russian and issues with the social media and the election and some of those issues. So it's a curse on one hand, but then we have Hurricane Harvey, where social media played a key role in actually getting rescues to people that needed rescue. When 911 call center was really overwhelmed with people calling for help, social media proved to be a good tool. So social media is like everything else in life. It depends on the intent of the people using it. And fortunately, on balance, most people use social media for good reasons and not for some of the more callous and things that we're seeing, which are very disturbing. I mean, you've seen social media posts with people showing videos of doing all kinds of things that they shouldn't be doing, and even torturing animals and things of that nature, just doing crazy stuff. And what they don't get in a lot of cases, it's never going to go away. It will always be there in cyber. You can't run from it. You can't hide from it. And in this case, they thought Snapchat would go away, and thank goodness for conscious people people of conscience that saw what was happening, recognized what would happen, that this would disappear at some point, and actually uploaded it and transferred it over to Reddit, where we as a police department, with some great police work, were able to get these suspects identified, investigated, charged, and booked.
These suspects are already saying that their behavior doesn't rise to the level of a felony. What do you say to that?
Well, if they'd like to invite these two fools to come by their house and shoot it up, let us know if you don't think that's a felony. Let me know how it is, how you feel when it's your business or your house is being shot up multiple times by two people trying to I don't know what they were trying to do, but we didn't find it funny. And I can tell you, whoever thinks that's not a felony, if it was their home or their business, they might have a different thought. But that ultimately will be up to a jury to decide.
And was there a reason why they were in that particular area that they chose to, that you know
I
of?
don't know.
Can you tell us about where the bullets, we believe, landed? Was it multiple, how many businesses are we talking?
That's part of the investigation. We're not going to go into specifics, other than to tell you that we found the effects of the damage caused by their bullets at one of the businesses, and it inflicted about $30,000 worth of damage on one business.
Chief, ¿qué sintió usted cuando vio esas imágenes en el video que se hizo tan popular?
Bueno, para mí me dio mucho genio que cuando yo vi esas imágenes en social media hace una semana, lo primero que hice fue llamé a estos dos y les dije, óigame, tenemos esto aquí que alguien está disparando en nuestra comunidad, y me enteré que inmediatamente que estos héroes aquí, nuestros investigadores, ya estaban pensando en una investigación. Esto es, las acciones de estos sospechosos son felonías. El hombre está preso, tiene financia de $200,000, y la mujer no tiene finanza, tiene que quedarse en la cárcel porque tiene una historia de otros crímenes que ha cometido.
Can you comment about the work it took to be able to trace things back from social media?
Well, the reason I want to talk, I wanted these folks, these guys here, is because, you know, I get to lead this press conference, but I wouldn't be leading this press conference to tell this community that this police department, once again, is making a difference without the excellence of these two investigators, without the excellence of the leadership, the captains and the chiefs and assistant chiefs. You know, we are a department that, by all reports, is under-resourced and understaffed. It's a fact. We've got studies that show that. And despite that, standing here today before this community, we are, you know, almost 26% fewer murders this year, and which equates to 63 Houstonians that are alive today compared to last year. And that's something we should celebrate. And I think the message that we want to send out to the criminal element in this city is that we may be lean, but we are mean as hell when you try to hurt the people in this city. And we are going to be united with this community in bringing justice to them. And we're not going to wait till these fools that go around shooting at buildings. We're not going to wait till a stray bullet hits an innocent person and maims them or kills them or paralyzes them. And this guy's working at night, right, a lot of times, going out there, the major offenders group, and they're really doing some really good work in catching these people. There's a lot of gunplay in this city. There are a lot of shootings in the city. Every morning when I wake up, when all these leaders wake up, we have our reports from our night command that tells us how many shootings we have. And every time somebody discharges a firearm in our city, when it's not on a range, that means that somebody could have died when that bullet was fired. And that's our mindset. And the charge that we've given this department is when we know that somebody feloniously discharges a firearm in this city, we're going to do everything we can to catch that suspect, bring them to justice before we have to go to a funeral, a morgue, a hospital, or to go knock on somebody's door to let them know that their loved one's dead. So I don't know, and I can't speak to what was done before Mayor Turner brought this team together November 30th of 2016. But as long as this team is together, the days of us not investigating these aggravated assaults and this reckless conduct are over. We will investigate them. We will investigate them to the fullest of our ability. And once we get these suspects, we are going to do everything we can to bring them to justice. And that's what happened here today. I'm not sure that, you know, we'd be 63 down in terms of homicides without, I know we wouldn't be without the work and dedication of everybody you see up here, including our partnership with the Sheriff's Department and DPS and our federal partners. It's a whole new day here in Houston, Texas. Anything else? Bueno, como le digo, el que quiere copiarlo, le voy a asegurar de una cosa, que si alguien quiere estar haciendo estas clases de delitos, lo vamos a investigar, vamos a trabajar con nuestra comunidad y lo vamos a traer a la justicia. Los días que no vamos a prestar atención a esta clase de crimen ya han pasado. Estoy muy orgulloso de estos oficiales porque el mensaje que queremos darle a esta comunidad es que no vamos a permitir que tragedias ocurren porque nosotros no estamos investigando. No vamos a esperar hasta que una persona esté muerta o herida porque personas como estas irresponsables no quieren respetar la ley y no quieren respetar a nuestros habitantes. Aquí vamos a hacer una ciudad de respeto. El alcalde me trajo aquí para poner orden y eso es lo que vamos a hacer. ¿Ok? Last one, guys, because I got to get back to my brothers and sisters from the Ukraine.
Usted mencionó que uno de los detenidos dijo que tenía nexos con cárteles de la droga. ¿Esto se ha confirmado?
No te oigo.
One of the suspects claimed that he has the cartel contacts.
We don't know. She just made that statement. I have no idea. Okay, thanks, guys.